Hey guys, welcome to Confusing Bits. I'm Corey, and today we're going to be talking about Emma by Jane Austen. First off, this is if you see the little cute little pink book, this is, I don't know if you can read that. This is the Wordsworth edition. It's a cute little pink book, but I don't know, it's fine. The cute little pink book with, you can see the foiling and the little basket and the little strawberries. It's a cute little book. But so this was another attempt at another classic by Jane Austen. I never read Jane Austen. Oh, too long, didn't read. If you like dramas, if you like purple prose, then this is right up your alley. If you liked Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, that kind of the movies and stuff, or the books, obviously, then you'll probably love this. This is kind of like a kind of quirky, kind of comedy, kind of drama, kind of overly verbose thing that that apparently I don't like, but I do think it was good. Well, if I probably teased you enough. Let's just go in it. I did not like this book. Now, I didn't hate this book. I did not hate this book. I can understand why people like it. What does it says on the back? I just realized that. You must be the best judge of your own happiness. I guess that comes from the book. I didn't finish the book. We got, I want to say maybe halfway through the book. And I finally, I called Uncle. I had enough. I've been trying to make myself sell. I forced myself through The Picture of Dorian Gray, The Tale of Two Cities, and what was it? There was another one recent. The Frankenstein. I forced myself to go through all of those when I should have just quit. I'm like, this still has that overly verbose. I call it purple prose. There's no word for it. I've Googled. I've been trying to find all the right words for like literary criticism and stuff and everything, and I still don't have a word for this. I'm going to call this purple prose. All of these old books had the purple prose stuff. Now, purple prose apparently is supposed to be a derogatory term. I'm not using it in a derogatory manner. It's just a different style. It's a very flowery, overly verbose, overly ornamented language to my sensibilities. It's like, you ever hear the joke where they talk about what you'll see, like the guy, he's like in the 1776 a hat, and he's got the smile on his face, and has a quote beside him, and it's usually some lyrics from like rap song or something like that. Is like some rewriting of like, I like big butts, I cannot lie. They'll just rewrite that in the flowery prose, right? I like big derrieres that and I cannot tell a fib. You know, that kind of thing. I can't stand that type of writing. I'm calling that now purple prose. I don't have a word for it. If there is a word for that really ornamented style of language, especially in older books, there's a word for it. Please let me know. I need words to add to my vocabulary to better express myself in these reviews, and I don't have them. But hopefully you get the point. This has that style of like rapid fire, overly verbose. Like, I watched Pride and Prejudice, and I thought that was just like kind of a stylistic thing that they did in the movies, where they talk really fast and you can't really understand exactly what they say because they talk really fast and they're using unfamiliar language, you know. So it's a double whammy. So you're having to decode very fast, and they're just back up. It's impossible to follow the dialogue without subtitles. That's how I feel with this book. I'm like, I mean, the movies were all right, but you know, I could never really get into them. They seemed to have been, I mean, women seemed to love it, but I could never understand what was going on in the movies. So, I mean, who doesn't like watch Keira Knightley, right? But I couldn't get into the book. I just couldn't get into the book. And it's a double whammy. It's the prose, and also it's the material. It's a drama. It's mostly people just kind of jibber jabbering about things that don't really make a whole lot of sense. So there's like this whole thing where they have this whole argument about whether they should open the window or not, and it's insane why they're having this long. I imagine it was multiple pages. I was listening on audiobooks. I imagine it went on for like multiple pages that they were talking about opening a window at a party or something, and it's just not my cup of tea, right? So to give a kind of a brief synopsis of Emma from what I could gather. So Emma fancies herself. She's a young girl, well, a young woman in kind of upper class New England, I guess. England, not New England, in upper class England. And, it's the whole gentry kind of stuff where the courting and the baronesses and all of that jazz that makes no sense. But she fancies herself as a matchmaker, and she's got several different people that there's like one girl in particular that at least the part of the book I was in, she was trying to make with, and she was perfectly content to match with this other guy, and then she like gets, she's not a great character, right? She's a meddler. So she like got this whole girl with like notions of grandeur about she had much more status about who she could have gotten, what type of relationship match that she could get for another man. So she had him turn down a perfectly good match, and there was controversy, and then it's just that's your thing. I'm not judging. It's just not my thing, right? And I just couldn't get into it. I was I'm doing my morning runs with the audiobook, and I'm just like, what are these people talking about? And the thing is when I could find out what they were doing, when I could understand what they were doing, I didn't care what they were doing. So it was a double whammy. I had a hard time even understanding what was going on, and then when I did understand what was going on, like the controversy about the girl turning down a suitor that was a perfect match, I'm like, okay, maybe this book isn't for me, but it is a cute book. If I like the purple prose, if that was a thing that I like, and I liked this drama and kind of quirky, it's a kind of a quirky, kind of fun, kind of cozy book. I do get the appeal for the people who like that kind of thing. I think it's well written. I didn't feel like that I was. I didn't feel like I was disconnected from the story. Throughout, I didn't feel like anybody was not acting in accordance to whatever caricature that they were supposed to be doing. So I feel like each character was kind of distinct, sorta, in a way, but really that's another thing. There's only like a few characters that you really need to follow, so it's good in that regard. I don't like a huge cast of characters, especially for a short book or something like that, but or even a big book. I like to get to know a few characters, and then you can introduce more characters. But so it was good in that regard. It was basically Emma, and then whatever the older gentleman was that was like the estate owner or whatever. I can't remember. And there was like less than like half a dozen characters that you had to really get to know during the book. But it was good. I really liked it. I really wish I had been able to finish. I would have liked to finish the story, but it's just not my. I wanted for there to be a payoff, or maybe there is a payoff within the book, but we're not going to find it. I don't know, maybe in 20 years I will have warmed up to the flowery prose, but until then, I'm going to have to start paying more attention to books, trying to figure out which books have flowery prose and which ones don't. Because it's not just books of this era. It doesn't seem like it's just books of this era. It seems to just be certain authors at certain times doing this style of and again, I don't have the words for this stuff, you know? So I think for the right person, this is a great book. For me, it wasn't. It wasn't a great book. It was a book. In fact, I didn't finish it. So, I guess that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, it's somewhat short and sweet. We almost got under 10 minutes. I just realized like I could have just wrapped it up and we've been under 10 minutes, but whatever. So yeah, that's all I got to say. This was Emma by Jane Austen. So next week, what are we going to do? Next week, I guess we'll do the we'll do this. It's going to be a short and sweet book of the River Cottage Curing and Smoking Handbook. I don't know if that's interesting to anybody, but we're going to do it. Anyway, toodaloo.